Hello and welcome to the Life is Storytelling Screencast. I'm your host, Chris Pierce, joined by my co-host, the man who's obviously possessed, Ernest Gonzalez. Ernest, how you doing today, bud?
Pretty possessed, bro. I'm pretty good,
Possessed.
man. Pretty good. Good things happening,
Yeah, man. Yeah.
out here. Yeah. And just so excited to have the development that we've had with this show, baby.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Definitely
Yeah.
had some growth. It's taken some time, still obviously climbing and whatnot. But today is a very special day. This episode will be releasing on the 21st, August 21st, Friday, 2026. We were sent our first screener. Yeah, and it's like a big deal for us. We haven't been sent one before, and yeah, we're gonna be talking about our thoughts on the movie is Bury the Devil. It is gonna be available today. It came out back in March in the UK. It is getting a limited theatrical run again coming out today, and will also be available on VOD today. So yeah, it's a horror movie, as you can guess from that title. Some movies have titles like that, and it's like, oh, that's not a horror movie. What the hell? Hunger Games? It's crazy. No, I'm just playing. But I'm very excited to talk about this. We did watch this last night. Um, and yeah, this is very cool. The main thing being like we haven't been given the opportunity like this before. We've been reached out to for a couple of different things that just weren't like I remember somebody offered us like I remember telling you like pretty early on we were offered like a chance to like promote a lotion. And I was just like, I feel like we should
Yeah.
start in like the ballpark of what we talk about.
I
And
mean,
and
we
here we
both
are.
have some pretty good skin. I'm just saying.
Fair, fair. Notice he had to look at me and say pretty good, but
We
it's okay.
probably would have got some free lotion out
And
of
that's always a thing. That's always a
it.
question. But granted, we haven't gotten something else like that since then. Um, but this is very exciting. Because very much looking forward to talk about this because it's honestly a movie that was not I don't believe it was on your radar. It wasn't on mine.
No, no, I hadn't heard of it before, but I'm glad that we get the word out about something now. So
Yeah, and we're gonna do this in our normal format. We're gonna start out no spoilers. It is just coming out today, obviously, unless you caught it in the UK. But we are going to start out no spoilers, just going over some thoughts, brief thoughts, like whether we like it, recommend it, stuff like that. But we will get into spoilers like a little bit after that, and we'll, of course, like we always do, announce it because there's some things that I really want to talk about that are literal spoilers. Like my favorite thing is a spoiler. Granted, I did just rewatch the trailer and it's in the trailer. So, but it's just we'll get into it. But yeah, very excited for this. But let's get into it, man. I will say we'll be back with a game cast next week, and I'm very excited for this because talking about new things, everyone signs up for network tests for games, man. We be signing up for betas and whatnot, and honestly, we don't be getting in. It's just obviously it's a first come first serve thing. At least they tell us. I do wonder if like follower count and stuff like that, which is understandable because if people have more followers, they're going to get the word out on your stuff more. But that being said, you may already know if us our gaming fans that Dustbloods is having their network test through this weekend, and I got in. I got in. So gonna be spending time on that, and we'll be talking about that for our episode next week. So beyond stoked. I've been hearing the previews from like actual reviewers and whatnot. And I need it. I need it in my veins. I need it in my veins. That is
in your
also
pants?
no veins, man. No, not veins. I got
Veins. I
we
misheard
save that for the full release before we get the clothing involved. But yeah, I'm very excited. Very excited. But yeah, we'll get into that when that comes across. But yeah, today movies. We love us some movies. We love us some horror, in all honesty. So let's go ahead and get into it. Again, the movie is called Bury the Devil, coming out again today. Um, it is so the synopsis is as follows. When a hospice nurse finds herself trapped with a dementia patient, she begins to suspect something else is wrong with the woman, something otherworldly, and must fight to survive the night. This is directed by Adam O'Brien, and it is starring. I'm gonna do my best with any pronunciations. If I'm wrong with any of these, I'm trying my best. I'm so sorry. But Emmanuel Losier Martinez, Don Ford, and yeah, Don Ford was a little bit easier. And then Bill. Bill Rowat, Rowat. Would you say
Row it,
Rowat? Rowat.
row it.
Just row it back, baby. And a
Mhm.
slew of others, but they're primarily the ones here. I will say mainly Emmanuel and Dawn are your focus point here. That is the woman, the dementia patient we were just reading about, as well as the caretaker with her. Um, and then Bill Rowett, who is playing Randall, who is Evelyn's husband, Evelyn being the older dementia patient. But yeah, let's get into it, man. This was a fun watch last night. We got into this. This is a smooth hour and 25 minutes. What did you think of this movie?
So for me, there are things that I like very much about this movie, and there are things that I don't like all that much. I will say I love the camera work. My favorite thing
Right.
about this movie is the camera work, and like we talked about before we started here, like it's kind of promoted as like a one shot horror,
Mhm.
and they do a fantastic job with that. Even when there's obviously like a small edit to move from one shot to the next. It's done so smoothly, like going through a keyhole or through a window or
Yeah,
something like this. Like it never feels broken up. Aside from like the title card and then moving into the house where everything is taking place to begin with, it all feels so incredibly smooth
yeah.
and to plan out those angles is just phenomenal to me
Hmm.
because they're moving all throughout this house. They definitely use all of the space available to them all throughout this film. And there are so many just like hallway shots where you're looking into like you're looking into a room, looking into a mirror that's showing you the people's faces having a conversation and
Yeah.
stuff like this. And it's like, man, that after you know 20-30 minutes of following these people around the house, like to know to have the camera there in that time is just like mind-blowing to me. So technically I'm a big fan of this movie.
Fair.
um I ran into so many situations though. I mean, this really feels like one of those horror movies where you're like yelling at the TV, like, "No, don't do that, stupid."
Right. What are you doing? Yeah,
You
yeah, yeah.
know, like the amount of times that homegirl goes upstairs is it's a lot.
It
Like in
is.
the scariest situations. I'm not sure that our main character acts reacts appropriately in every situation either. But maybe it's just me. Maybe I'm just a punk and I would have just ran out of that house to begin with. But maybe
Yeah,
she's
yeah.
dedicated to her job as that hospice nurse, you
Hey,
know.
man.
But but yeah, some story beats as well. I won't say the pace so much because they do a very good job of just like making you feel tense as it continues,
Mhm.
especially at the beginning. I love the pacing of it, but just when you find out some things, that some of the discoveries throughout I enjoyed and some not so much, but overall, and then the end for me fell a tad bit flat as well, as far as some of the lore goes and like how everything goes down. Like there's a lot of question marks there
Mhm.
that I'm not sure were necessarily supposed to be left over.
Okay.
But yeah, so overall it feels a tad bit middle of the road, I'd say.
Okay. Okay.
But we did have a good time watching it,
Yeah.
and I think like if you're a horror fan and you want to yell at that TV, you want one of those movies, this is definitely the way to go.
Right. And I do want to point out th this is a lower budget film. I think you said you looked
Yes.
it up and it was made for around 1 million.
Yeah.
And we were
A
talking about like,
million.
dude, I've never even seen $1 million, but obviously
Yeah.
different
But
situation
for a
here
movie,
for a
that's
movie.
not
Very,
the
very
most
small.
money to make something with.
I
Yeah.
think they stretched that dollar. I think they did a really good job with it. I'm right there with you. I think on the technical side, I'm not sure. Well, I guess you would have to only use one camera for the one take, because
Mhm.
you take away from that if you switch to another camera. I think they utilized that incredibly well. And I will say there's not like a whole lot of CG. There is a fire element to this that it definitely is. Well, not CG, but it's like a special effect. Um, but there is a point where a practical effect is used, and again, it's going to go into spoilers later. I love that. I love it so much, and I will say overall, it is a really fun watch. If you, yeah, it literally is the cover of the movie, and it's in the trailer, so it's not that big a deal. But it clearly ties into what the story is going for. But in terms of the pacing, I'm kind of right there with you, uh, because there's a point where because I think I even remember commenting on it. The first 30 minutes or so, like it does feel like we're taking our time, which I appreciate. I absolutely appreciate it. I wasn't complaining about it. It's just you're getting to know Evelyn, you're getting to know Julia. Like Julia has this whole conversation with her father about her mother passing away, what that meant to her, and obviously things don't seem that great with her dad, as it would seem on that phone call. You don't see him; it's just a phone call for that. Um, but along with that, we get Evelyn here, giving us, first of all, like if you've seen a movie with dementia, or of course know anyone with dementia, there's some clear signs here of like asking, "What are you doing in my house?" Stuff like that. Um, but then like when you get to the point where she's asking her to pray, like Evelyn's asking Julia to pray with her, and you start like the red flags start dropping, or I guess they start raising up, and you're like, okay, something's going on here. God, I don't know about now. It's just like, oh no, what's happening, man? And understandably, Julia's just like, okay, I'm just gonna let her do this. I'm gonna leave the room. I'm gonna get out of here. Um, but those little tidbits there, when you're just hanging out with the characters, you're getting those little moments. I think that is where the writing and the direction of the movie is doing its job. And just, I'm engrossed. I'm curious what we're doing here, why we're here. Um, it's one of those things of like, if you've seen the cover of the movie, I'm like, how does this relate? Why are we burying the devil? This old lady doesn't seem that bad. You start getting the hint of like some type of possession film, but there's so many different flavors of possession films that it's really at those early stages you're wondering like, is she possessed? Is she trying to make somebody else possessed so she doesn't get possessed? Is somebody else that we're not even seeing possessed and she's trying to pass that on? There's so many different flavors. They make it very clear what's
Someone
happening.
obviously possessed, you know?
Hey, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
They make it obviously clear. I'm so sorry. Uh, when we start getting other characters in, we get our first death here. Um, who's possessed? What's happening there? And then we get more lore drop at that point about Evelyn and her husband and a child that they used to have, and what was going on there. And I will say. The way they go about that, the way you get the tidbits, there's a lot of paintings and pictures around the house. I do really apprate the camera
Are we
going with
doing
our character
spoilers
looking
right
at
now?
those. Is that spoilers?
I feel like maybe.
Like the daughter? Like they had a
Well,
daughter?
like the paintings and stuff like that.
Well, just
I
like
don't
they're
know. I don't
there. I
know.
don't know. I
Yeah,
was
no,
just
we're
like,
good.
because I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think one painting necessarily means one thing.
Yeah.
But just saying that there's stuff to take away from like the visuals around you.
Yeah, yeah.
And then along with that, there's a point where because seemingly Julia is very new to this role, because on the conversation with her dad asking her to go somewhere, she's like, I just started here. I can't just leave this job. It's new, stuff like that. Um, she upon exploring the house, we get like a tape recorder. I do feel like there's only one tape recorder, and I'm not going to go into what it says yet. But I love that method of like giving the audience something to learn because she plays the tape recorder. We get bits of what's on there, and it was very reminiscent for me of like there's so many games that do this now. But my first thought is always a BioShock. Um,
Like
because
audio
like
logs
yeah,
that you
audio
find.
logs, and
Yeah.
I do think it's for the most part very effective in terms of like storytelling. And as we talked about at the beginning here, this movie is like a tight hour and 25 minutes. So it's a little shorter than what most feature length films are given to work with. So you really because I do the story we learned from like the cassettes and about her the daughter of our couple here is it's very important to where we go towards the end of this film, and I do think they do a creative job of implementing that to where it's not distracting. We're still learning about Julia. It's not feeling shoehorned in, making Julia feel like a second fiddle or anything like that. We're learning about a character that we're not seeing on the screen, even in a very effective way. I will say in regards to you saying like the kind of middle of the road, this isn't no, like like the summer movie or anything like that. But I used to go to we're in Texas. Texas Frightmare is probably our biggest horror convention. I went a few years in a row, and like this felt like this is like the definition of a festival film. You go there late at night, you've had a whole day of just going by booths, buying stuff, taking pictures with people. You grab the popcorn, you go find your seat, and everyone's just ready to scream at the it's like a scream at the screen, and it's so fun. It's such a fun experience. Obviously, this was just me and Ernest. But I love that kind of experience, and there's films that just really gravitate towards that kind of experience, and this is, I think, one of them. Because again, low budget, man. We wouldn't have the Evil Dead franchise if it wasn't for where that started, and Sam Raimi made that with his college buddies, and then he kind of remade it with the sequel. There's a whole conversation about Evil Dead too. So yeah, um, but I do think they stretched their dollar out pretty well here in regards to production, actors. We got some extra actors that do kind of come out of nowhere. But if you're a horror fan, you know what they're there for. You know what they're there for. You gotta have bodies, man. And I'll say that we can start as we're going into spoilers. Uh, we're because I think that is where it becomes like Evelyn is possessed. Okay, Evelyn has it's
Obviously.
obviously possessed.
Kind
The
of
thing
from the
that's not
beginning.
obvious though, and I mean it happens with a lot of movies. Like I don't know if it's the devil. It could just be a demon. I don't
Yeah.
really know there. And to be fair, like even in like whether you're like independent the biggest movie of the year, whatever. You don't need to, I don't need all those details. And I'm glad that they don't take the time to just be like, oh my God, that's the devil. This is the genealogy of this demon or whatnot. But when we do get the other characters in there, uh, albeit an awkward introduction, um, I immediately knew what they were there for. They're fodder. They're fodder for Evelyn, and
Yeah.
I think I do think that Dawn Ford had a really fun time with this role. There's points where she's ripping people's throats out. She's making people bleed from the eyes. It's awesome. It's very very cool. But Ernest, what did you think? What was your thought process when these people came in? When these extra people showed up?
I thought they were just random people until
Right,
I
right,
realized
right.
that Randall just had a posse that
Had a
he got
posse,
together
bro. Yep,
somehow. I
yep,
don't
yep,
know
yep.
how he got that posse together. Like maybe they're from a church or something like this.
There
Considering
is a priest.
one of them, there is a priest that eventually shows up. Yeah.
Yep.
Um,
And a guy with
but
rope.
I mean, but also like I just really wonder if they really knew what they were getting into. It seems like they do from the conversations that they have, but like, yeah, they were lambs to the slaughter, 100%. Like it becomes very clear as soon as because that's the first time that we get like the possession voice, the double voice with the deep voice, and
Right.
her regular voice at the same time and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Yep, yep, yep.
And yeah, as soon as that started popping off, it was like, oh yeah, I mean, you know why those guys are there, just like you said.
Yeah.
Um, I I appreciated the gore, that we
Yeah.
got in those
We love a
moments.
schlock fest, man. Yeah.
It at first felt like, oh, like that's kind of it. I know it's a throat getting ripped out, but like it
Right.
feels
There.
it feels so fast at first.
Right. For sure.
Um, but yeah, yeah. I mean, the way it picks up at the end, though, it is they went hard with those practical effects and
Right.
stuff. Like bodies in half and all these sorts of things.
There's a
Like, yeah,
foot just laying there.
right, right. Like, yeah,
The
yeah.
blood
You
all
just
over
see
the
some
place.
legs off in the distance, and then
Hell yeah.
eventually you like find the torso later.
Yep.
So
Yep. Yep.
like,
Yep.
yeah, yeah. Like I always appreciate those things, and like you said, like some practical effects are always appreciated
Yeah.
in these parts. So
Because that stuff, especially when you don't have the biggest budget, and we can talk about movies with big budgets. Sometimes CGI just doesn't do it. This would look terrible in CGI. Okay, I
it probably costs so much to go through that doorknob.
also
I'm
true,
just saying, like
also true,
to that
also
through
true.
that keyhole, dude. Like,
Which again,
yeah,
a testament to like just them being able to put their dollars where it needs to go. Um, But yeah, just because like nobody's like moving or still kind of alive. Like those people are just dead. And I'm like, I respect that. I respect that a lot. My favorite thing, my favorite part of the movie is it's literally they know what they were working with. They know what it is. It's literally the cover of like any poster they have for this. When the hand comes out of Evelyn's mouth, it's so
Mm.
sick. It's so cool. And like honestly, like I don't know what I was expecting, but like that was a hand. That was a whole arm. Like she had to stab it, and Julia had to stab that when she was being choked with it. And I was like, this is so cool. It looks really good. It's really quality. Um, I don't know how they did. I guess it was a fake Evelyn head at that point. But just it looked like my attention was as the viewer fully drawn to the arm, being like, oh my God, that's sick. It's very, very cool. Um, yeah, that's my favorite thing because it's the closest thing you'll see to like the devil and whatnot. And that's also because you talk about the end. And honestly, because like I was asking you questions when we finished this. And then we got to the like we were talking about it being like so this is full of spoilers. This is like we've talked about a few things that I would say those are all pretty light. Um, but what we got here is the plot twist. And respect for having less twists than the movie Sharper. Don't go watch that movie. Um,
Too many twists.
too many twists. But here we have what seemingly seems what the hell. Uh, they pass on the entity from Evelyn into Julia, then burn her with the rest of the house. I don't know if the rest of the house is on purpose. I feel like it was. Um, so that like it would like it's like an ending of a cycle or whatnot, right?
Yeah, she very like pointedly says like it has to be in something living in order
Right.
to kill it.
In order to kill it.
Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep.
So she passes it from herself onto into Julia and
Mhm.
then sets her on fire.
And then
Yeah.
sets her on fire, man. And that
Right.
just she lights that stuff, gone. You don't got a
It's
chance.
all I don't know. There's just so many questions that I have about that basement scene. Like why the hell did she get convinced to go down there in the first place? There's no way. There's no way that that would happen. Like there's no,
Well, because
zero chance that
the
that old
husband
man is going to be like, "Oh no, we come on, you should really come in. Come on,
well, that's the
we
thing.
really
She
need to go
believed
save." Like,
him.
no, dude, forget you. Like, I'm getting out of here.
Is up the whole
Like,
movie, she's not trusting this man, obviously. She's very much on the side of Evelyn. This man's causing her duress and whatnot. Things get a little freaky. She doesn't really know what to do. And we do get to a point where she's like, oh, I'm not gonna trust Evelyn anymore. But it does seem like at that point, she then is like, okay, I'm gonna trust her husband.
she also just came across all those bodies we just talked about.
Yeah, but that's from Evelyn.
So, and they were like equipped with like Bibles and all these sorts of things and
Yeah,
rope
no,
and rope.
I also think I would run. I do believe I would. I feel guilty about leaving like a dude back there, but like she caught
Yeah.
him on the way out, saw scars on his face. I mean, we don't know a whole lot about her character before this, but she's in the nursing profession, at least in some type of capacity with being a caretaker.
Gullible is what she is.
And it seems
And
like
then,
she might have been emotionally manipulated to make this to do this, where he's literally like, you take this statue, you put it in the it's not a plaque. There's like a place to put this little statue. She's told it's going to solve the problem. She's told it's going to save Evelyn. And in that way, I do see in her mind, maybe she's just thinking because we spend that first 30 minutes just really seeing the bonding between Evelyn and Julia. And I do think that is there for the purpose of being like, okay, she does care about this person. And again, I'm with you. I would run. I would be like,
yeah,
I'm so sorry. I would probably feel pretty bad after a while. I would leave and call cops. But
it's also that like right before Randall like forces her down into that basement, he's like, "You're going to be perfect for it,"
no, he gets a little shady.
and like
He gets
and
shady for
like
sure.
like, dude, you got to know that this is about to be bad. Like,
Well,
you
and
know what
then
I mean?
right because he's keeping his distance for the most part. I don't want to say like being respectfully distant, but he's like there still coercing her. But once she gets into like the doorway of the basement, like she's past that barrier, about to go down. It did seem like he was going in to either push her or do something, but it didn't matter because good old Evelyn took care of it because she's the hero of the story. If you don't understand,
I
um,
mean, kind of in a way. Like, I mean, she's the one that, finished it, I guess. But
she did the thing. She did
it
do the
does,
thing.
it just feels selfish to me still. Because, like, an old
Oh, for
lady
sure.
just
Yeah.
being like, I'm going to transfer it to this young lady
Right.
and take her out so that I can
Right.
live out these last few years. You
And
know what I
there,
mean?
like,
Like,
there's so many horror movies where we have something like that, where somebody's just like, I know what I need to do to take care of this. I'm not going to do it. Um, but at the same time, before I forget this, because I did forget this line, the first time you hear her use the voice, Evelyn use the voice, it's
oh,
just her
yeah.
and her husband. Her husband's like, "Who am I talking to right now?" Well, I'm talking. Like, he's trying to say like, "Where's Julia? Is this Julia?" And she just says,
Not
"I'm
Julia,
wearing her like a
Evelyn.
suit." Evelyn, right? My bad. I'm wearing her like a suit, and it's so sick.
Yeah.
I was like, that's metal as hell. I was like, you get it. You get it, Don. That's some good shit. I was like,
Yeah.
that's where I was like, I know what we're in for. I know what we're doing here, and I'm here for the ride. It's gonna be a good time, a solid time. And again, I do think that hour and 25 minutes, there's a few things we're talking here with pacing where like it does start off just taking so much of its time with the characters, which we do really appreciate. I mean, especially with like the limit of casting and whatnot. There's not a whole lot of people in this movie. Just give us the time to see them get to know each other, get them to know, like to talk. We have a beautiful scene um, with Evelyn and Julia standing out on the, I guess it's a, what would you call it, a porch? It's outside that window.
Yeah.
And it's when they're talking about like Evelyn's talking about death because she's older and whatnot. And Julia's and asking Julia about like why would you even take this job, which I do think adds more to the character and why like, hey, this is why she didn't want to abandon Evelyn at the end. Where she's just like, I don't think anybody should die alone. But then of course Evelyn hits her right back with everyone dies alone. It's like a little bit of like you'll float too, man. You'll float too. But there's definitely some naivete with our main girl here, which happens. It definitely happens. Some
Healthy amount
choices were
for a
made.
horror movie, I
Oh, for
guess.
sure. No,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's so many horror protagonists we could go through the list of just like, why did we do this? And you're not wrong. There's definitely those questions here. But I think, granted, like Christopher Nolan talked about this recently, where he's like, everyone's like, he brought up that so many reviewers negatively talk about the word trope, which we know it's essentially like a format or a something we've seen before. Those things become tropes because they're popular because they worked at one point, and you can't overdo anything. But he does bring up like there's no like you shouldn't just it shouldn't die. We should always have some movies where like our main character or set of characters, whatnot, we're just like, why are you doing this, dude? Why are you doing this? Like, what are we? I wouldn't do this because that engagement with you in the screen is why it's there. Like, where you're asking, why are you doing this? What are you doing? It's beautiful. It's like how we're big wrestling fans. You're supposed to boo some people. It's honestly, it seems like it's harder to make people boo some of the people these days. Because like no one, you
They're
can't boo
too good at
Randy
being
Orton.
bad.
Right, you
Yeah.
can't boo Randy Orton. It's just not gonna happen. But back in the day, bro, like even if you love heel Randy, like you're like, oh, dude, how could you do this? How could you do this to whoever? I know, not
I
you.
cheered all of it.
I
So
tell him it was me. Um, but just to say, like, especially because a movie, a part of a movie is the engagement with the viewer and trying to elicit a response. And we've talked about movies on here that elicited nothing. Like I did not have fun with it. I did like I you see what they're trying to do and you're just like you're not doing it well. stuff like that. Or you come away from it and you're just like, dude, what were we doing? This, I'm not saying it's the best horror movie of all time or anything like that, but I think it set out to do something, and I think it did accomplish what it did very well. And I had such a fun time with this. And obviously, there is some rose-tinted glasses with this being our first screener. This is going to be a special movie to us, regardless. Gonna put that out there. Um, but it was honestly a fun watch. It was a really fun watch. It's good stuff, and I will say, like, there is so much fun to be had here. It's not long at all, and when I got to the end of it, the ending did not fall flat for me. Because there's a point where I thought I knew what was happening, and they managed to not upend my expectations, but I didn't see certain things coming, like passing of the devil to Julia, and then just immediately Evelyn being like, scorched earth, bro, scorched earth. Um, had a lot of
Literally.
fun with that. No, literally,
Yeah.
literally, dude. Like
The
whatever
ground was on fire.
that gasoline,
Yeah.
that is the best. That's the gasoline we need. Or maybe we don't. Maybe we don't want something that flammable. And like when she caught fire, it's like she fell. It looked like she fell into a thing. Like maybe it's a portal to hell, or something like that. I don't know. Maybe we were thinking it there. But I had such a fun time with this movie. And again, that like I've already told you, like it's going to be a very special one for us because it's going to be like, dude, remember our first screener? But it's an easy recommend, man. I do think you're gonna have a fun time with this. Get you a group of friends, grab some drinks, because like there's moments in this. Scream does this very on purpose, like the whole "I'll be back" stuff like that. But you're gonna see that stuff play out in this and be like, "Ah, shit, take a shot." And again, it's such a good length. Um, but yeah, I thought this was a very solid time, very fun horror movie. When, I mean, specifically, if you're looking for something when Halloween rolls around or we hit the month of October, dude, throw this on. You don't have to focus too hard on it, and there's plenty there for you to focus on when you are like checking it out. And honestly, some of the artwork, like I don't think any of like the paintings were bad. There was just some that like really stuck out to me. They knew what their freaking golden goose was. That
That
like
deer.
no. No, it
Yeah.
was not the deer. The
Yeah.
deer
The
was
deer.
cool. I'm not gonna hate on the deer, but there was one because it like reminded me of Bloodborne. I don't know, but like the
The
black and
picture
white paint.
of the devil. Yeah. Yeah. It's
Right,
or like the
essentially.
demon or whatever
Right,
it
right,
was.
right,
Yeah.
right, right. Is that why you were wondering if it was like counted as a spoiler? Because I wasn't gonna say what the painting was. Okay,
Because all the blue light stuff on it.
I forgot about that. So if you're a
Yeah, that's what I
Phasmophobia
thought you were
fan,
getting at.
no,
Yeah.
yeah, I was just gonna point out that the paintings did something because they're constantly looking at them, and there's this owl that shows
Yeah.
up in shots.
Because all the paintings are like clues to the ritual stuff.
Right. When you
Or there
once
being a ritual in the first place, I guess.
right, because once the things start going down, we start seeing the UV lights. We get the we put a lot of hours into Phasmophobia when it came to console, and it's just like, oh, dude, prints. We need dots, and it's great, fun time. It's a very solid time. But yeah, I definitely recommend going to check this out if you just want a good, easy, fun watch. And again, we're just so happy to have been able to even see this or talk about it. But Ernest, do you have any final thoughts for Bury the Devil?
No, just kidding. No, yeah, yeah. No, I agree with you. Like, cause we came out of that just like, energetic, man.
Yeah,
Like it
it
was
was
a
a good
very
time.
good time watching this. And I again, the thing that I appreciate most about it is just the camera work throughout
Yeah,
this thing. Like
it was
technically,
very good.
it's so technically sound. It is so well done, and even
And the sound itself is very
I
good.
was just about to praise the sound because like
The
the
creaking
scene
and
that you were
everything.
talking about when they're outside, like they're very clearly mic'd. Like there's no drop off in that sound at all.
True.
Like and then all the creaks and the
Old
wind
house.
and everything like going through that house before the storm even hits, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
like it is very very good technically.
Yeah.
And yeah, the only places where like I'm complaining is because of like why would you do that, like
Right.
saying to like an actual person, but this is a horror movie, so of course they're gonna run upstairs.
For sure.
So like, yeah, yeah. What else would you expect? So So again, I do think it's a fun watch. Not in the sense that you say like, oh, it's a fun movie. It's not a good
Right.
movie or
You're
anything
gonna
like
have a
that.
good
But
time with
like,
this.
I
Yeah.
had a good time. Yeah. So,
And like length and
but
what they do with the length of the movie is like a huge part of that. And I mean, wow, enjoyed it a lot. Um, you're right. Like I wanted to comment for my final thoughts. I do want to say a lot of the things like I would change. Like if I was to add anything to this, it would be a thing that budget would entail.
character
Because
being
like,
smarter. Oh, okay.
no, dude, I keep her dumb, man. If that's what we're going for, keep it. That's completely fine. Like we need those tropes. But what I want is for any movie that has even a little bit of gore, I usually do come away wanting more. And I love, and you should absolutely have your gore fest at the end. Like you want to build towards the main event. Like this is our jamboree of blood and guts everywhere, and then the devil's arm is out. Ah, it's all this stuff. Very, very sick. But before that, leading up to it, I like we get a few more people in here, we kill them up, we dice them up. I don't know, crazy devil powers, stuff like that. But again, you need more money for hiring the people, the practical effects of that and all that other stuff. So completely get it. So no real negative on that. But again, guys, dude, go check this out. It's on VOD, it's in select theaters. If you're in the UK, you've already had the opportunity to see it. But again, we had a really fun time with this, and we do really appreciate the chance to even check it out before it came out. And again, thank you all so much for tuning in, hanging out. Again, we will be back talking about games next week. I was gonna say Blood of the Dawnwalker. We don't have anything for Blood of the Dawnwalker. It comes out in
I
September
wish we had that.
for
Yeah.
sure. But we're gonna be talking about Dust Bloods. So for anything horror, movies, Dust Bloods, gaming, whatever, Ernest, where can the people find us?
Indeed, if you'd like to stay up to date with the show, you can find us out here on all these social medias, baby. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube. And if you'd like to reach us directly, you can find us at lifeisstorytelling at gmail.com. We appreciate any and all feedback, and we fucking love you.
We love you so much. If you watch the movie, let us know what you think. And thank you all again for tuning in, hanging out, and have a great rest of your night.